All right. Tell me about MindFit. Like, what is it?
At the end of the day, MindFit is a company I created to make an impact in people's lives. I want to empower people to live stronger lives physically, mentally, and lives with purpose. To do that, I'm doing it a few different ways. I've got some in-class, in-person, small group personal training classes going on. So I enjoy just the, face-to-face and helping people get through things and improve their fitness. But then the other is, and the big piece is the MindFit Coach App. So we can get into that maybe a little bit deeper in a minute. But basically, the MindFit Coach App is something I created to really make a bigger impact beyond just what's here in my home gym, but make a big impact in the world. And so it's can be available to anybody. And it really is hitting the everyday person. It really is kind of like a personal trainer in your pocket, I like to say, because a lot of people that already go to a gym, if they were like me a long time ago, at some point you just get tired of doing the same routines. You get tired of coming up with your own, hey, what should I do next? You can go out there and pay thousands of dollars for a PDF of new movements, or you can get the MindFit Coach app at the fraction of the cost, but have an actual coach on the other side of that that is putting together one, what do I do when I go to the gym? So the program, and there's various programs for different people and whatever their goal may be. So if it's strength, or if it's getting lean and losing weight, or if it's endurance, we may be having a high rocks version coming soon. We've got a home version. So for people that are at home with minimal equipment or traveling, hotel workouts, we got kind of everything for anybody, and we got different levels. So people that are just beginner level, people that are kind of intermediate, and then those who, get after it maybe a little bit more than others. And so we got different levels in that too. So we just really want to kind of, again, back to the mission, we want to make a big impact. And so I wanted to create programming. And then there's also videos, not just, hey, here's what to do, but here's how to do it and how to do it right so that you're getting the right stimulus, but you're also doing it safely and not getting injured. And so that's a big piece of MindFit. And then the third piece I would say is competitive CrossFit athletes, masters in particular, who I work with. And that's a one-on-one coaching situation that is limited in spots because the amount of customization and personalization to those athletes, it takes a lot. And so I want to limit that with the amount of people I work with there. So I kind of work with everybody from in person to online to competitive athletes. MindFit's really just a global thing that's trying to make an impact to help people live a more powerful, stronger life.
Awesome. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of levels to it. One that you didn't touch on just then is there's like even nutrition aspects that are embedded in
Yes.
there. So like you can put in your goals and it'll even output macros for you if that's something that you're looking for. Talk to me about some of those little additions that you have in there too.
Yeah, so when I decided to build the MindFit app, which was a journey in itself, to be honest, I started out with, just some other apps. I tested several apps out there that are for coaches. Then I got it down to one that I was using for some people here for my personal training classes, just testing it out. And then ultimately came to a point where I was like, you know what? I like pieces of this one, I like pieces of that one, but I don't like this feature. I don't like this. And one of the things you pointed to it was nutrition. One of the things I didn't like is having to go to my Fitness Pal or Chronometer and then also into the, fitness app and then different apps. Is like all these different apps you have to go to just for me personally. And then for my clients are feeling the same thing. And so I decided, you know what? I'm going to just do this and I'm going to do it big. And so I'm going to go hire a company to develop my own app, the MindFit Coach app. And inside it, I want it to be a one place shop for everything. So yes, we've got the fitness. Yes, we've got the video libraries. But I also, the big piece was that nutrition, like you talked about, and bringing a nutrition inside the app where you can look up all your meals. We just had chicken salad chick the other day. That's in there. Everything's in there. You can take pictures. So it's got some AI features in there where it takes pictures of the nutrition label and it'll read it and it'll plug it in for you. Setting your macros. We do have meal plans and recipes and all that kind of stuff is all in there, all in one. So nutrition was a big one to bring inside the app so people didn't have to go out to another place and upload it into the app, but it's all right there. so they can track their progress and their macros. As a coach, I can see it and I can reach out to them and talk to them about how they're doing on different things. Other things we have in the app besides nutrition is daily habits. Big thing, being a mindset guy, is just those daily habits, and people can add their own. There's some in there that I put in there for folks, but people can add as many daily habits as they want to. So it's very customizable and individual. The other piece we have in there is we have videos for things that I do on webinars on different topics, whether it's mindset topics, whether it's nutrition topics or fitness topics. There'll be webinars in there, and that database will be growing as we continue. And then also a weekly mindset. So I do a weekly mindset video that pops up every week on the homepage. We do have tracking of progress tracking, and then we just have a ton. We also have gamification. We have leaderboards. We have point systems. And one of the unique things I did with the point system is I didn't want it to just be, who performed the best with the workout or who did the most workouts. Because again, I wanted to build a community. I call it a tribe of people that just really engage, and it's more than just fitness, right? And so definitely get points for getting your workout in. But you also get points for, hitting your habits or hitting your, step count, logging in meals. You get points for interacting in the message board with, the messages and hitting like or posting your own. So you get lots of different messages. And I'll tell you, it's worked. I mean, I've seen people already. I've heard comments from some like, how did that person get ahead of me on points? I know I've worked out every day. I'm like, well, have you done these other things? And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, all right, they're ahead of you. So, and what I plan to do with points is also at certain levels, you'll see badges. And so those people, when they get certain levels, they'll get different badges like a bronze badge, silver, gold, platinum, whatever the levels are. But then at different levels, I'm going to give prizes out. So there'll be some prizes to go out to maybe MindFit apparel, which is also inside the app too. You can access all that stuff from there, but or just freebies, giveaways, supplements, whatever it may be. I'm going to do some things there to make it fun as well. So
Cool. Well, I think that was a pretty good overview.
yeah, yeah,
Don't you
it's a
think?
lot. It's a lot.
So kind of taking a little step back and like I just said, what is MindFit, right? But like, what does MindFit actually mean? Like the word MindFit, like that's
Yeah.
you made it up. So
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm just obviously I enjoy fitness. It's been a part of my life for a long time. Ebbs and flows. There's been times where, it's been less and then times where it's been a whole lot more. And but fitness in some way or fashion has always been a part of my life, and it's again at the core, it's just something that I feel we need, everyone needs to order whatever their goal is, even if it's outside of fitness, if it's to be in their career or at their home, be the best parent they can be, whatever it is to live longer and a healthy life, we need some sort of fitness to help us live a longer life, to hit our goals, whatever they may be, inside or outside of the gym. And so fitness is definitely a big part of my life, but the other big part is mindset. And that's a key piece that a lot of people, miss out on. Some of the most successful people that you see out there, I don't care if you're talking about sports people or if you're talking about business people, what they have is a strong mindset. And so combining both mindset and fitness is where kind of MindFit came from.
awesome. Where did you come up with that concept? Like just when, where,
Yeah, it
what
kind of
happened? How
grew.
did you do it?
It kind of grew. Never, there really wasn't one moment. Again, like I said, fitness has kind of always been a part of my life, but the mindset piece, I, for a long time in my previous career, I was CEO of an investment management firm. We managed 5 billion in assets, and different parts of my career, whether I was, a manager or a director or even CEO, I always did weekly quotes. We had weekly meetings, and I always did weekly quotes, and it was kind of, the thing that Cody does, and they were just always inspirational or kind of motivational. Try to time to different aspects of where we were at in the company and what we needed to do, whether it was discipline or whether it was, just encouraging others or whatever it may be. And so I kind of accumulated a database, and I'm just a big quote guy. I like it personally, so that kind of has just grown. And so when I moved into, this part of my life and career, I decided, that was just something that was a part of me I enjoyed. Other people got some benefit out of it. And so I wanted to make sure that was a part of what I did as well. So that's kind of where the mindset and motivational kind of things came. And I wanted to make sure I included that with MindFit as well.
Awesome. So kind of thinking back to like when you were coming up with this idea, you said there wasn't like a super, it just kind of gradually happened. Was there a specific moment that you decided that you were just going to make this a business? Like what does that look like?
Yeah, there was actually. So yes, some of it was just kind of building. Kind of take a step back before I answer that question a little bit. So I mentioned I had a previous career. At the end of that career, really a couple years ago, I was having just some changes in my own personal life where my passions were changing. I had had a successful career. I had, put everything into that career, time, energy, money. And to be honest, at times put it ahead of other aspects of my life, personal life, family life. Not saying that was right, and also not saying it was wrong, because I'm able to do now what I'm doing because of what I had in my career. So that it's not a good or a bad. It's just, it is what it is. But it came to a point in my life where I decided, you know what? I didn't want that anymore. I wanted, some other things in life. I wanted to, be able to, enjoy some travels with family, start putting them first, and personal things and just enjoyment. And so a lot of different things kind of led to a decision where I wanted to kind of move out of that career and move into one that was me starting my own company around, these things that we're talking about today that I really enjoy, which is I've always helped people, whether it was in that business helping people with the financial risk and uncertainty of how they can live and do what they can do. But now it's on their health side, and so I always have really wanted to help people and make an impact in that way. So it's just a shift in how I do that, not necessarily what or why I'm doing it. And so as that shift was going on, I knew, okay, I'm going to get into fitness. I really thought it was just going to be kind of personal at home with, the classes, because another aspect of our plan, my wife and I, were as we became empty nesters, we decided we were going to sell our house, bought some land and build a house, but we were going to downside the house and upside the gym. So I was going to increase the gym space, which we did. We've got a 1,500 square foot, yeah, 22-foot ceilings connected to our house, air conditioning, heat. I mean, it's legit. So I was already going to do that. It was a little crazy, but I knew I wanted to do that for my own training and again to get some other people into it. But the moment where I kind of decided about MindFit and the app and really making a bigger impact in the company, kind of creating this company, was really my wife and I. After I transitioned out of that career, we took a few months off and we traveled with our camper and our dogs, and we came out to Arizona and got to some warm weather. Had a good time there. And I don't know, it's just a day or two. I spent a lot of time during those couple months just kind of thinking about, again, life and what I want to do and how I want to do it. And a lot of what I talk about as a coach is, finding that purpose, your purpose, whatever it may be. And so I really just spent a lot of time focusing on and thinking about my purpose. And that's when I decided, yeah, my core values as a person, which we can get into maybe a little bit later on MindFit, but they kind of transpose in MindFit. But one of them is just dream big. And I don't like to do small things. I'm an all-in guy. I've always been. Again, good or bad. I'm just all in on it. And so I decided, yeah, I'm going to go all in on this. And then one of the key moments was, as we were talking about that app earlier, when I was testing out some of these other apps, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to do my own app. That was a big step. That was that was really the let's do this moment. We're going to do it, because it was a big cost, right? To build your own app. We're talking a lot of money. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, one, I'm going to do it right. But yeah, once I do this, we're all in. So
Mhm.
that was kind of a big we're all in moment.
Absolutely. It's almost like you knew my next question, which is to walk me through your mission and values for MindFit.
Yeah, awesome.
Like
Yeah.
we kind of talked a little bit about what MindFit is, and like you kind of see the mission through that, but like in like a concise mission statement or like your core values, what do those look like?
Yeah, concise mission statement is we want to empower people to live stronger lives mentally, physically, and with purpose. And so that's the mission statement. Our core values, we have four of them. And like I mentioned, they're just kind of core values of mine that I just live and breathe. And so I wanted to make sure they were part of MindFit as well. and they are dream big. Number one is dream big. I believe strongly that we should all reach for the stars. I am one of those people that believes you can do anything you set your mind to. Does not mean there won't be consequences or there's decisions you have to make in choosing this over that, whether it's time, energy, money, sure. But at the end of the day, I truly believe you can be anything you want to be as long as you're ready to take on the work and dedicate to it. So dream big for sure is a big one for us. We want to see people, not live small. We want to see them shoot for big things and work for them. So dream big is number one. Number two is get after it. You guys hear me say that all the time. You've heard me say that for a long time. But what get after it means is at some point, you can dream all you want, but at some point, you got to get after it. You got to, the plan, you can have the plan, put it together, and that's very important. I'm a planner. But at some point, you got to put that plan into action and you have to get after it. And when you get after it, you got to go all in. You got to just go, all in on it and really push and give it your all. And then the third one is never give up. We're all going to face challenges in life. I don't care what it is, whatever you're after, big or small, you're going to face challenges. That is just life. And so a big part of MindFit is knowing that we're going to face those. So we want to make sure we see those obstacles and we overcome them. And so the obstacle is the way is kind of our mindset. So never giving up, having that resilience, having that grit, having that community around you that helps you get through those obstacles. But knowing that they're coming, but knowing that you're strong enough and you're mentally resilient enough to get through them, and you learn that by getting through other hard things. And so that's why we do hard things. We do hard things in workouts so that when they come up in life, we know that we can get through them. And then the last one is find your tribe. I truly believe that life is not worth living if it's not lived with other people, and that's coming from a guy who has done a lot, like I mentioned before, where I've kind of put people on the back burner as I was building a career and different things, and it's just not satisfying. It really isn't. You really need to find those people and find that tribe that's right for you. Not everybody's for everybody, and that's one of the things at MindFit. We realize we're not going to be for everybody, but there are other people that share some of those same goals of, hey, I want to do big things. Hey, I want to, have confidence in my life and I want to be healthy and maybe that's not everybody, but for the people that is, we want to surround them together, bring them together because as a group, as a community, as a tribe, we together can be powerful and make a big impact and really help others. And so it kind of compounds. So those are the four core values, of MindFit.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think I probably could have outlined that and I didn't even know it. Just
Yes.
communications and things, and that's just what's all over your stuff everywhere, every
Yeah,
single
and
one of
I mean
those.
that's a good point though, right? Like that is a big thing for me being a business guy. We've always had in business, you always have a mission statement, you have core values, but I've seen companies time and time again where they're just sitting on the wall. And if you interact with their people, you don't really see those things. And so I've never worked for a company. I didn't run a company that way. We believed in what we did, and I'm doing the same thing here. And so when you say, hey, I probably could have told you those, that's reassurance to me because that's, we
Mhm.
live them. You got to be true to to yourself and we're going to live them, not just talk about them.
Yeah, awesome. Well, kind of stemming off of your mission, just kind of expanding on that, like, what are your goals, dreams, your ambitions for this whole endeavor? Where do you see it leading you? What impact do you see it having, like, in the coming years?
Well, I can't say I have a core value of dream big and I give you a small goal, right? So here it is, sit back. We want to create a company where we have 1 million subscribers to the MindFit app. That's my goal. 1 million. Now, I know that's not coming tomorrow, but that's my big goal, is 1 million subscribers to that app. And so I obviously have stair stepped that down because we started from scratch and we're already, we've already got members, we already got people in there across the country in it. But I've got some stair step goals for sure. But no, our dream big goal is 1 million subscribers. The other aspect when you ask me that question of what are the goals is, okay, those are the numbers. But outside of the numbers, there's goals that we have where, again, it kind of goes back to the mission. I just want to make an impact. Some of my goals are I want to see people reach things that they didn't think they could reach. I just saw this past week. In fact, I put a video out of it on my social this past week. Had a client this week that in a movement, they were like, I can't do that. I'm like, well, have you ever tried? And they're like, no, but I can't do that. And so, after a round of doing a modified version and then, encouraged them to do it, they did it. And it's just, those are the moments that I want to see more of. And I want to see them across the board. And so just really helping people see that for themselves. And again, like I said, I just want people to live long, healthy lives to, be the best that they want to be in whatever aspect of life that is. Whether again, that's with their family, that's in their own career goals, whether that's hobbies. My wife and I, we like to go hiking, national parks. And so, I've really got to keep my fitness up to keep up with her on some of those hikes. So, I want to be able to do that for everybody else. So there's numbers involved in our goals, but there's always those intangibles as well.
Kind of expanding on that a little bit more as well. Like, how are you going to define success with MindFit? I know you have your goals, but like, what does success look like to you in this scenario?
The other aspect for me is I just want to build something that can really help people. So when I envision success, the future of where this is going, we're always going to add to it. So kind of a mindset I've stolen from some other folks is the day one mindset. Amazon is one of the big ones that kind of launched this as well, is always having a day one mindset. So at MindFit, we've already launched and we're growing. And when we get to, 10,000 subscribers and 100,000 subscribers, we're going to have a day one mindset. It's still day one. And what I mean by that is we are always looking to make the client experience better. And so adding more programs, adding more features, adding more personalization, adding all those things that really set us apart and set us, apart from other apps and other, fitness programs. And so success for me is something that just it's kind of hard to explain, I guess. It's just something I see and envision where it's just like, hey, this thing is unique. It's really personal and it's something that it's impacting people's lives and it's just in their pocket. They pull it out and they push that little icon and the coach is there helping them along the way.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I got her all choked up, folks.
I
She's
know.
so excited.
I was sick last week, so we're struggling. So then, what were some of your biggest challenges other than like cost of app and everything like that?
Yeah, yeah. So just like I mentioned earlier, life is going to be full of challenges. And so anytime you're taking on something, especially if you're taking on something big, there's going to be challenges. And I have faced them as well. Probably the first challenge, I'll be honest with you, and one of the biggest was leaving that previous career. That was a big thing. That was my life, and that was everything I had done, and I put my heart and soul into that, and the people that were there, and the clients we had, and so to walk away from that, which was a very nice life as well. To walk away from that was a big challenge. It was harder than I can probably even explain and tell people, but to kind of move on from that chapter, I kind of feel it right now just talking about it. It was tough, but I also knew it was time, and so that was definitely a big challenge that I did. The other big challenge we mentioned was the app, which continues to be a struggle. Just this morning, I guess there was a server in Kansas City, Missouri that went out and took out ChatGPT and X, and it also took out the MindFit app. But we're back up and running. So you could put us up there with ChatGPT and X, I guess. But yeah, so things like that. A funny challenge, I guess I could share is living in a camper for a year. A lot of people may not know that about me, but when my wife and I sold the house and then we were building a house, we decided we were going to live in a camper for a year. The plan was actually to travel for about a year, doing that. Some, things kind of stopped that, and so we had to come back home. Which was good because we got to be here for, during the process of building the house. So there was definitely a lot of challenges in the building process of the house, for sure, along the way, and living in that camper with two dogs, two big dogs. That was definitely a challenge. Other things, I think, just there's lots of business challenges that you go through. as well. But overall, no, we've accomplished, we've conquered through those, we've pushed through those, and we're ready for what's next.
Cool. I do, you don't have to put this in here or not or anything, but I do want you to kind of talk about, you said the first challenge was quitting your job. This was not the first goal. When did that switch? When did you decide that you were going to go with a different reality? What did that look like for you? Originally, you were going to quit your job so that you could focus on your fitness and your journey to the CrossFit Games,
Yeah.
maybe. Like, what does that look like? Is that still something that you're looking to do, or have we fully switched over?
All right. Yeah. So, yeah,
All right.
you're gonna get me here with these questions. The challenge to kind of leave what I was doing. There was there was more behind that for sure. There was a personal aspect of fitness and competing that was in there. I had been on this path of wanting to make it to the Masters CrossFit Games myself, and had been improving in those ranks and competing in various competitions around the country, and enjoyed it. And so part of leaving that career was to then focus solely with this big gym and all this time
Right.
to focus on my own fitness as well. And that was kind of the first step. What happened along that path was I did that. I started working out, expanding, my workouts from just 2 hours a day to 3 hours a day, broken up into two sessions. Then I just had the mindset, which I've usually had, which is push through, power through, more is better. So that mindset led me to like 4 hours a day of working out, and did that for quite a while. And there wasn't one moment where this happened, but eventually, yes, at my age, being a master's athlete, putting in that much time on my body and stress on my body, it started to break down. I had a major shoulder issue, pretty much tore everything in there. I had a labrum tear, had two tears in the rotator cuff, bicep tendon, all of those things. And so I needed to get that taken care of. And so I did. I chose stem cell procedures over surgery for me. And that could be a whole nother podcast. We could talk about that procedure. There was plenty of days where I was down, depressed. Where was I going to go? What was I going to do? Because I couldn't even lift my arm. It was in so much pain. And then there was times 2, 3 months later where I still didn't feel like it was ever like the stem cell worked. They said, trust it, trust it. And to their credit, around month 6 and 7, it all of a sudden started working again and feeling great. And to date, I'm back to now doing all the movements, snatches, ring muscle ups, bar muscle ups, handstand walking. I am getting the strength back. The strength actually has come back pretty quickly. The volume definitely is on the shoulders. Have definitely needed to kind of ramp up. But that was a lesson. That's probably a big lesson in your question is when, and I'll tie this back to MindFit. So, and how it kind of all comes together. So yes, there was this personal journey to the CrossFit Games. And for anybody watching this, especially my competitors, that journey is not over. We are going to continue it. You heard it here. We
Heard it
are
here
going to
first,
continue it.
folks.
That's right. We're going to continue that journey. But it definitely took a back seat for a year. And when this shoulder issue happened, and I knew I was having this life change of career, building a company, building a house. There was a lot going on that I thought, you know what, this is a good time to kind of take a step back from the personal fitness. One, I couldn't because of my shoulder, but really, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the next year and a half, maybe even 2 years, to really, build up my own fitness, rebuild my body, but also pour into this company and pour into helping others. And so that's where kind of the two roads have kind of come together. I just got done earlier, right before this, my own training session, which is a cycle ahead of my competitive athletes. So I do the cycle so that I can test their workouts, make changes and tweaks before they see it. So a whole month in advance. But at the same time, it's getting me fit again, right? And I kind of call the gym, the home gym, the lab because I'm using it for obviously for myself, for my competitive athletes, but also my personal training classes. I've got people in there that are in all ages, young to old, all fitness levels, and I'm using those personal training classes to test out the programs that are inside the app for everybody. The strength program, the endurance program, the lean program. I'm testing them, and so being ahead of everybody has kind of allowed me to test all these things before I give them out and know that they work and know that the intensity that I want is there, the desired effect is there, the volume's correct, and I make tweaks, trust me. And unfortunately, as the coach testing these things, a lot of times it's having to tweak it down because what I thought was possible is like, okay, that's a lot. And so when they come to you all, they've been tweaked. But that's how the two roads are kind of coming together. Is that yes, my personal fitness goals are still there, but I am taking it, taking advantage and actually enjoying, and that actually has been a big learning phase as well that I've been able to put into the competitive programming that I do for folks because I focus on the masters athletes and we
Mhm.
are all in similar boats. We've had injuries, we've got a lot of volume. There's a lot of programs out there that think the answer is more volume and it's not for us. They think it's, heavier loads that they
Not
don't
usually for
understand that the
anybody.
masters athletes, should and shouldn't do. Yeah,
Doesn't
exactly.
have to be that way for everybody either.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. So my programming has been affected by my own personal journey, which I think is really good because then it's allowed me to really understand, feel compassion, empathy, but also know where people need to be and should be. And so I've kind of used that obstacle of my path as an opportunity. And this is what I taught in business all the time to my employees is obstacles are opportunities if you look at them a different way. And so this has definitely turned into an opportunity to help others, but yes, my dream is still alive. I am unfortunately tomorrow, so by the time this comes out, I will have already had this birthday, but tomorrow is my birthday. And so I am getting towards the upper end of my master's competitive age group. So that also means, I got a couple years before I age up and can really make that splash. And so I'm going to use this next year and a half to kind of, I'm definitely going to still do the open. You might see me in some of those competitions again. I've gone to some of them this year as a coach, which was really fun and a different experience.
Mhm.
But I hope to be back as an athlete and on the floor with those guys as well. So yeah, we're gonna do it all. We're gonna coach it and
Yeah.
we're gonna compete.
All right. Awesome. So those were some of the challenges. Did you have any fears that you about starting a whole ass business?
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah, I think some of those challenges were the fears, right? So probably the biggest fear was leaving, a lifestyle, career, everything that came with it for the unknown. The you're leaving that behind. Obviously, I set myself up for success, but yes, going into that, and this wasn't just mine. I've got a wife, that's a part of this journey, and so that doesn't get talked about enough. I'll be honest, and that's on me. But the support that she gives me, I have not felt in the past, and so when having her in my life, she, by the way, for all those that may or may not know Hannah, she is not a CrossFitter. She does my personal training, but in fact, when we first, yeah, you know her. When we first started dating, she in fact said she was not going to marry a CrossFitter. And I joke with her because now not only did she marry a CrossFitter, but she married one who she personally has a 1,500 square foot gym in her home. So be careful what you wish for or say you won't do.
It's
Never.
bigger than the home,
It
right?
is bigger than the home
Yeah,
on the
that's
home
what
side.
I
On the outside, it looks that way for sure. So she's a big support. I couldn't have done that without her. She really helped some of those fears. But that first fear
You
was making
know,
that big
she
leap.
says that she would never, but she's the most yes girl I've ever met.
She
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 says yes to
definitely
so much.
she has definitely changed me a lot. Those people like you who know me, saw a change in me as well. She's brought out the best. She's brought out more of the adventurous person in me. She's brought out more of that try new things, for sure. And so, like I said, she supported this dream. and she continues to support it. She jokes that she's my best client to test on because she gives me all the lip in the world during training class.
Does have an
But
attitude when you try to
yeah,
make her
yeah,
work.
she definitely does. But yeah, she's also been one of my best sellers, one of the best MindFit sales people on the team. So no, she's a great, but she's definitely helped alleviate some of that fear. Other fears I had is kind of we've talked about it. I've been on the competitive side of this, but being on the coaching side and how am I going to make that transition? Coaching has always just kind of been a part of my life. Whether it was, when I was younger, I was captains of my wrestling team and kind of always been that leader. It was probably more of a silent leader back then. It was more of the definitely lead by example because I was a shy kid. But college kind of outgrew that shyness. Then after that, I was a coach for a high school wrestling team locally here for many years, and I just really enjoyed coaching those kids. And again, even way back then, my coaching was yes, teaching them the sport of wrestling, but I always viewed when I went into the gym, went onto the mat, that I was really wanting to make an impact in their lives beyond wrestling, beyond high school for them to be people that turned into adults that can contribute to society. And so I've just always had this kind of I want to help people. And again, that kind of moved into the business life. And when I lived in that career, which was not sports, but I still viewed myself as a coach. I kind of even talked to people that I didn't really go around, saying my title when people asked me. I didn't really talk about it too much because, and my friends probably, didn't know what I did and what my title was for quite a while because I wouldn't talk about it because I just really felt more that I was coaching people, I was coaching teams, whether it was in business or now in fitness. And so coaching has always just been something I enjoy and it's always been there, and I'm just excited to continue doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I probably didn't know until you decided to retire.
Yeah,
For
yeah,
what, like 2 or 3 years?
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. He's like a finance bro, but something like that. I don't know. He makes money
Yeah, yeah.
somehow. Whatever. I just called you coach.
That's right. See?
I know. Awesome. Okay, so those were some of the challenges and fears. Kind of switching over to more of a positive aspect, not necessarily like challenges can be positive after the fact, but
Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
going through them, they kind of feel ah, you know.
yeah.
What are some of the key like milestones that you've seen so far along the way?
Key milestones was one when we broke ground on the house. That was huge. Obviously, a personal aspect of that. We've got a house being built, but
Mhm.
two, obviously, we would always joke we'd see the gym side of the house, the slab, and then we'd see the house side of the house slab. And so just knowing, hey, that's where the gym's gonna be. And then when we had Amish guys that did our framing. And when they did our framing, which by the way, no ladder, like no ropes or anything, they were just climbing 22 feet up into the air. It was nuts. But seeing them when those walls went up, I was here that day again, living in the camper. I was here that day and I was like, holy cow. I actually called my builder and I was like, I said we wanted to at least have 16-foot ceilings so I could do rope climbs, but I said, this looks a little bigger than that. And he was like, oh, yeah, no, we designed it to go from 16 up to 22. We vaulted your ceiling. I'm like, holy cow, it's huge. So that was a big, big milestone.
It's
And then
funny that they just
obviously,
did that. Like they
I know.
didn't tell you. They just
No, I didn't.
all right.
We gave them the design. We made
Cool,
some
cool, cool.
adjustments to our design, and then I don't know, somewhere along the way in the communication, I thought it was going to be on the inside of the house. It was going to be a flat, straight across 16 foot. I
Right.
knew the roof line because the design we gave them was a modern kind of style house. So I knew the roof line vaulted, but I didn't know the inside was going to vault. I thought it was going to kind of just square
Yeah,
off.
space that space.
But yeah, wait, so he opened it up, so it's huge. And then definitely when the gym was done first before the house side, but when the
I
gym was done,
you already
uh,
had somewhere to live.
I mean, I was here kind of pushing the builder, so there might have been a reason why the gym was done first. But I
Go tell him.
definitely remember my first workout in there was awesome. It just felt really good, knowing that hey, this was going to be something in the future. that was going to be used. And so that was big. We talked about it multiple times, but that decision to build my own app and the MindFit coaching app, that was a huge milestone. That was, we talked about, the scary part of that, but also once the decision made, then like I said before, I'm an all-in guy. So then it was like, okay, what are we going to do here? And if I told you all the things inside this head that are gonna happen in this MindFit coaching app, you go crazy because I just have ideas and things, and we're just gonna continue to expand it, and it's gonna be awesome. So just knowing the endless things that we can do once we decide to make that decision, that was a big milestone for sure. And then getting our first clients. I mean, you can't have milestones of a business without getting your first clients, and again, the experiences that they're having is, they're enjoying it. They're really liking it. I get feedback on things, which I enjoy. Yes, obviously they tell me good things, but I ask them for other things that we can improve upon, whether I can do that today or down the road. I want to know what they are, so we're open to that. And so just all those things that we're building there, yeah, huge milestones. Probably think of some more as we talk, but yeah, lots of good stuff going on.
So, how does it feel now that you are bringing this dream to life? Like, I mean, and like switching your career to kind of more align with your new dreams and aspirations. How does it feel now that you've kind of launched that and you're going for it?
Yeah, it feels great. Feel that passion, that fire back again. I had it for a long time in what I was doing before. But as I mentioned, it was kind of shifting, and I'm just a person that has to, I just, I have to be doing what I'm passionate about. If I'm not passionate about what I'm doing, then it's just not good for myself. Like my stress level goes up, and it's just not good for, whatever I'm doing for, in that case, for the company. It's not right for them. It's not right for me. I've got to be true to myself. And I think that's another lesson for everybody else is you got to be true to yourself. And when you're aligned internally with what you're doing externally, you will just one feels so much better, but that feeling better, that energy that you have will allow you to perform better at whatever you're doing. And so whatever that goal is, so definitely chase your dreams, definitely chase your passions. I'm a big believer in that. Does not mean that there's not challenges along the way. All passions have them, but when and I would tell other people this in the past, I coach my teams on this, the difference is when you have passion for it, those obstacles, you can get through them and you're excited to get through them. When you're not passionate about something, those same obstacles and honestly, small, tiny little obstacles start to become negativity, right? You're like, this or that. But when you're excited and you're aligned internally, then those things, are exciting. So how do I feel? And I feel, passion and fire again, but I also physically feel that like and my apps have shown that I haven't talked about this a whole lot. I don't want to get into it right now. I'm not maybe mentally ready for that deep psychology session, but I was going through some tough times, just mentally as well, physically, and it was showing up physically, blood pressure things, stress level things. My app levels were at historic lows for 6 months. It wasn't like, oh, it was
Your,
just a couple
your
weeks. It
Whoop.
was, yeah, my Whoop, like, and those HRV numbers, my sleep numbers, my HRV numbers, especially is what I pay attention to, were like in the 40s. I before that was 100, like average over 100, and I was in the 40s 6 months straight, like and then I was feeling it too. And so, um, when I look at my stuff now, I'm back up above the hundreds. And so it's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that one, it's obviously when I got my own fitness back in line, my own nutrition back in line. But the big one that again a lot of people don't talk about is mentally. And I was in a right space mentally because I was finally focused. I had ripped the band-aid off. I had made those changes in my life, and now I was all in on something that I'm passionate about, that gives me energy again, that gives me excitement. And so now I'm back to Cody, and I enjoy it. So I am feeling really good. I feel excited, ready to take on the world and impact the world.